Taurus season is going to be an absolutely transformative time for each and every single one of us in 2024. It is going to transform the way we see ourselves, the way we see the world, and the way we understand our role and our place in the world. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 most powerful themes that we're going to be experiencing as we move through Taurus season so that you can better navigate these energies and really make the most out of this experience. Taurus season begins on the 19th of April and goes until the 19th of May, when on the 20th, the sun then transits or moves into the sign of Gemini. So as the sun is moving through Taurus, we are experiencing these Taurian themes. What makes this particular Taurus season so powerful is the fact that not only is the sun in Taurus a major player here, but we have Jupiter, Venus, and Uranus in Taurus, all moving around, connecting with each other at various times, really sharing their energy and creating a very rich shared experience collectively for each and every single one of us. The first 2 themes that we're going to be working through as we move through Taurus season are really interconnected. They are self-love and self-worth, and our belief in ourselves. And you can see how one of these things really leads into the other. In order to believe in ourselves, to believe in our capabilities fully, we have to have a pretty solid sense of self-worth. So when I talk about these first 2 themes, they're going to be very interchangeable here. We are, of course, going to be dealing with themes of wealth and abundance as well, as Taurus rules that 2nd house. But the deeper meaning and understanding, even when it comes to abundance in the material plane and material wealth, is that that directly correlates to our sense of self-worth and our sense of self-love. So for some people, working through these monetary themes is going to be a way that we are understanding and putting a frame of reference to the amount of value that we place within ourselves. We also have a larger value conversation happening here as we are looking at some of these Jupiterian themes of our morals, our values, and our ethics, and what has meaning to us in a larger sense. And when we're looking at our finances, when we're looking at all of these things within our own little sector of the world, we're looking at them and viewing them through the guise of what the greater value is that they represent. Does this job have meaning for me? Does any way that I supply for myself, that I provide for my family, have a greater sense of purpose behind it? Or do I just feel like I'm floundering? Do I feel like it's simply a means to an end? And if it does feel that way, for many people, there is going to be a sense of burnout here. Because remember, 2024 is all about aligning us with the highest timeline, aligning us with our higher self, with our soul, and with our divine blueprint and dharma for this incarnation. I almost called it incarceration. Those of you that follow this channel know that we do live within a false matrix. So in some senses of the word, this is an incarceration just as much as an incarnation. But we're moving out of that. And if you guys want to learn more about what the hell I'm talking about here, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss anything. There's tons of videos on here. Check out the I believe it's the Sending Out of the Matrix playlist or something with a similar title. And that can give you a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about here. But in this incarnation, that our soul's plan, our soul's divine mission, aligning with that, aligning with our highest, most organic timeline and frequency as we are moving forward. And so we've talked in many different videos in many different places about how uncomfortable it's going to feel when we are not living in alignment to our truth. There is a particular sense of importance placed around living in alignment to our truth and placed around our ability to be our authentic selves, to live authentically. And this has to do with the fact that we have Uranus in the mix here. We just recently had, before Taurus season began, or actually the day after Taurus season began, to get technical about it, on the 20th of April, we had that super powerful conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And if you guys haven't checked out that video, I will link it for you at the end of this video. Really, really powerful energies that we are working with there. So this really set us up for this conversation in a sense, this conversation of, do I feel comfortable being and living in my truth? Do I know what my truth is? Do I truly know myself? And if the answer to that question is no, there's going to be a journey that we are embarking on here as we move through the month of May. Another powerful thing that's happening as we move through this month and Taurus season, which takes up a big chunk of the month of May, as we said, until the 20th of May, is that Pluto is going retrograde at 2 degrees of Aquarius. And I'm not going to get into a lot of the technical dates with all of the astrological alignments, but I will be doing that in a live stream in the coming week or so. So if you guys, once again, are not subscribed, go ahead and join the tribe right now so that you don't miss out on that. If you really enjoy getting sort of the play-by-play of how these energies are going to unfold as we move through the month and as we move through Taurus season. But we will talk about Pluto here and the fact that Pluto is going retrograde. And so this is bringing us into a deeper internalization of many of the things that were revealed to us as Pluto began to transit the sign of Aquarius. And this, along with how active we have Uranus in the sign of Taurus, really brings through these themes when it comes to these Aquarian themes of authenticity, of our inner truth, of living and speaking that truth, and really this beautiful energy of rebellion, where if we have had to wear a mask in any area of our lives, if we have had to present ourselves in a way that feels authentic, whether this is in a relationship, in a job, in a friendship, wherever it is, that energy is going to become very clear and it's going to be very uncomfortable. May is asking us, and Taurus season is asking us to really pay attention to what our soul, how our soul is speaking to us, what our outer world and outer reality as well is telling us about how we truly feel, what we truly want, and who we truly are. And like we said, if we don't know who that is, and some of us probably thought that we did up until recently, and now we're beginning to question. And of course, as we know, this is a very normal part of the awakening process. This is a normal part of human existence in general. I won't say all, and I won't even say most, but I will say that many of us go through this process of thinking that we know who we are, and then accessing a deeper layer of that, and beginning to realize and understand that a lot of what we thought we were was just stories that we told ourselves, was simply based upon faulty belief systems, based upon experiences that we had in our childhood. And with this heavy Plutonian energy and that powerful full moon that we just had in Scorpio, past life energy as well, that has perhaps been coming into the consciousness, trickling down into our awareness. All right, but it's not really who we are. And so it can be scary when the bedrock of what we have based our understanding of ourselves and the world upon begins to shift. It's very much like the energy of an earthquake. That's what this feels like to me as we're talking about this right now. That's what I'm being shown is the energy of an earthquake. And it's like in the beginnings, at least in this scenario, it's like the quiet rumblings, right? As the plates begin to shift, as everything underneath the surface begins to very, very subtly shift. And we may or may not hear it. We may or may not feel it, but it is happening. And we have, even if we don't feel it physically or with our conscious awareness, on a subconscious level, we're feeling it. And for some of us, this is quite literally going to feel like the earth is splitting up and swallowing us whole. And I know that that sounds intense, and I know that that sounds a little bit scary, but it's a really, really beautiful thing, because what we are going to find when we have the courage to discard all of those old stories about who we were is a really, really beautifully powerful new version of ourselves. This energy is very much the energy of, if I don't like who I see when I look in the mirror, it's time to change that. And we've been talking about this energy of taking spiritual responsibility right? Taking responsibility for our creations, for our energy for quite some time now. And this is where this energy is really going to come into the forefront. And now we're being asked to make those changes. And this isn't about changing ourselves because we're not good enough, right? It's about changing ourselves because we want to be more in alignment with our truth, with our ideals, with what has true meaning and value to us. And we want to live a life of true meaning and value. For many of us, this is where we start looking at our legacy, where we start looking at what we're leaving behind. And some people may even have those questions. Remember, Pluto retrograde here. If I were to transition from this planet tomorrow, what would I leave behind? And this doesn't just mean in a physical material sense. What memories would I leave behind within the hearts of the people that knew me? What would people say about me? And it's really going to make us want to make the necessary changes so that the reflection of that is what we would like to see. And the reflection of that is true. Do the people that I know really know me? This keeps coming up over and over again. This is so fascinating. This energy of, do I really know myself? I feel like I'm just repeating myself here, but Spirit really wants to hammer this point into every single one of us. That's the question that Spirit really wants us to be asking ourselves. Do I really know myself? Do I have the courage to dig deep underneath all of perhaps the shame, the guilt, the projections, the stories, and connect with that truth? And then from that point forward, do I have the courage to live it? And this is where that self-love piece really comes into play here, right? Because when we're digging deep into these layers of ourselves that we've hidden even from ourselves, we have to have a level of self-love in order to do that. We have to be gentle with ourselves. I mean, we don't have to, but it's going to be a very uncomfortable process if we don't. And there's not a whole lot of healing that's going to be able to occur because there's going to be a ton of resistance. And there's as soon as we bring in the energy of shame, the energy of blame, we shut down the heart space. And healing cannot happen from a closed heart space. So there's this powerful energy as we're moving through the month of May and through Taurus season that is all about continuing to open up that heart space and let life in, let love in, let a new understanding and experience of who we are and therefore what it is that we came to this planet to do. Allow that to unfurl. Allow that to reveal itself to us. Allow that to blossom. It's very much the energy of the lotus flower blossoming out of the mud, or even the rose that grew from concrete, right? It's there's this beautiful flowering that can take place if we allow it. If we allow ourselves that same, how do I want to say this here? If we approach our own healing journey with the same sense of unconditional love that we give to others. All right, if we talk to ourselves the way that we would talk to a friend, the way that we would talk to a child, somebody that we love and respect completely. So there's an energy of learning to treat ourselves that way and seeing where it is that we're not treating ourselves that way. Where is it that we are withholding from ourselves the love and the support that we desire? And yes, we may see this echoed back to us in the ways that other people treat us, right? But remember, everything is a mirror. Everything is a reflection. And so if we do have people in our lives or situations that are treating us in a way that is not loving, that is not kind, this is our opportunity to remove those people, those situations from our lives and really reinforce that energy. And this is the most powerful thing for me as I've been, and it's an ongoing process, right? But as I've been in this process of learning to love myself, is treating myself the way that I would treat myself if I did, even when I wasn't fully there yet. We can sometimes take the actions that begin to shift our thinking, that begin to shift our perception of ourselves. As we said, coming right along with self-love here and self-worth is self-belief. Do I believe in myself? Do I believe that I am capable of X, Y, and Z, right? Whatever it is that I set out there to do. And as we have this powerful influence here of Jupiter and Uranus, they're asking us to expand bigger. They're asking us to look at or consider the possibility that perhaps we have been playing small. Perhaps we've been settling in some area of our lives. And perhaps it's time that we stop settling. It's time that we stop playing small. It's time that we stop dimming our light just to make other people comfortable, or sometimes, honestly, just to make ourselves comfortable, right? Because it is not our darkness that most scares us. It is our light. So where have we been afraid of our light? Where have we been afraid of our greatness? And are we ready to step into that? So this month may challenge us. I keep saying this month. I know we're talking about Taurus season, which spans kind of the end of one month and the beginning of the next. But you guys, you know what I'm trying to say here. It may push us in order to allow us to realize our greatness. And so if that is happening to you, just know that everything that goes on when Jupiter is largely at play in a situation is a blessing. Everything is anyway, right? Because it's all teaching us, it's all growing us. It's all giving us an opportunity to step into a better version of ourselves. There's a quote that one of my teachers that I'm working with right now, Matt Schaefer, he shared by, I believe it was a Jim Rohn quote. And it said, don't ask life to get easier. Ask yourself to get better. And that's very much what this Taurus season is all about. It's not about asking life to get easier. It's about becoming better. And we are going to be gifted and blessed with the situations that cause us to step into our greatness, that cause us to take these actions that mirror that we are worthy, that we are competent, that we are capable, that we love ourselves. All right, this is big, big, beautiful stuff. And I do want to make sure before we move on to theme number 3, that we really fleshed this out, the importance of the authenticity piece, the importance for a lot of us. There's also going to be situations, because we have wounds with that Pluto retrograde going on here, that are bringing up these group wounds, right? This is some of the 11th house Aquarius energy. These are wounds when it comes to the fulfillment of our hopes and dreams, believing that we're capable of that, the courage and confidence to strive for that, and everything else in between. But it also has to do with groups, organizations, networks, friends, connections. And so there's a group wound here that's being activated for some people as well. And this is the wound of being persecuted. This is the wound of being criticized, of being judged, of being left out in the cold, of not belonging. And this is going to be a big one for a lot of people that's going to come up as we begin this process of stepping more deeply into our authenticity, of living a life that truly resonates for us, of being who we truly are. And that's coming up for a reason. This wound wants to be healed, right? And how do we heal it? We heal it by being who we are, even though some people may judge us, right? But by remembering that the only person whose opinion truly matters when it comes to this stuff is our own. Right? Yes, the people that we love and respect, we want them to get on board. But if they're not, are we going to allow that to prevent us from being who we truly are? From speaking our truth? From, just being funny and goofy and silly, or serious, maybe, if that's who we really are. How do you want to move through this world? What is the most natural way for you to move through this world? What do you truly think? What do you truly know? What do you truly believe? Remembering, of course, that at the end of the day, we actually know just about nothing, right? But you guys get what I'm saying, right? It's so important that we move beyond that fear of criticism. There's another saying that comes from 12-step that was a favorite of a friend of mine that I was very close to for many years. He used to say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. All right, so what do you stand for? That is another big question that this Taurus season is asking us. And do you have the courage to be who you are? And that's what shining your light means, right? I think we get really confused sometimes. Everyone says, shine your light, shine your light, shine your light. Like, what does that mean? Yes, it means live from your heart. from that beautiful open heart space, but it means be who you truly are. Not because it's what people want to see, not because it's what gets the views or what gets the votes or what gets the smiles and the pats on the back. Be who you are, simply because to be anything else is not real, right? Anything short of that is shortchanging yourself, is shying away from your greatness. The world doesn't need another them. The world needs another you. Or not another, I guess, because there is no other. There's only one. And that's why it's so important for each and every single one of us to really embrace the truth of who we are. That's what shining your light means. All right, so we're going to move on to theme number 3 right now, and that is the theme of presence. So as we move through the month of May, our spirit wants us to get really, really present. And there's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot of action happening right now. So it's going to be challenging sometimes, right? Because a lot of times we want to project into the future, especially when we're setting these goals, when we have these grand ambitions and designs for our lives, when we're getting excited about the things that are possible for us. We tend to project into the future. And right, some of us may be stuck in the past as well. That's an energy. Most of us function in either, I didn't mean to flip you off there, in either the past or the future, right? But a lot of us, I feel like we're going to be more future oriented a lot of the time. We need to stay grounded here as well, because this is the only moment that really exists. And this is the only moment that we can use to create any type of momentum, any type of change. And if we are constantly thinking about what is going to be, we miss out completely on what is. And that's where the journey truly unfolds. The journey unfolds in the now. It doesn't unfold in the future, and it didn't unfold in the past. It's unfolding right now. And the journey is what we came here for. All of our dreams, all of our goals, all of our aspirations were programmed into us by our soul in order to give us something to strive for so that we could grow and learn and have experiences in this moment. All right? So just sink into that, sink into this moment. Be really, really present as often as you can. Be in your heart. And if you are fully present and you realize that it's uncomfortable where you are, then there's the key, right? That's what you need to dig into. That's what you need to dive further into, because that's where the healing is present. All right, most of us, we may not be conscious of it, but we live in a constant state of distraction because it distracts us from what's going on internally that we still haven't dealt with. And this is at this point in our ascension process, in our awakening process, we're not allowed to not deal with things anymore. It just doesn't work. All right. If we keep pushing things down and pushing things away, practicing the good old avoidance method, it's going to build up much more quickly, and we are going to explode much more quickly. Be present. And if it hurts, ask yourself why. When is the first time that I can remember feeling like this? What does this feeling bring up within me? What thoughts come to mind? What memories come to mind? Or maybe I just sit in it for a little while. I let myself feel it. And I tell myself that it's okay to feel that, right? This is part of self-love and self-acceptance. It's not all just like, I think I'm the greatest. It's like being okay if I don't. Being okay if I don't feel good about myself. Being okay with the fact that I still judge some things about myself. Being okay with the fact that I'm not okay. All right, as long as we try to run from not being okay, we're going to continue to not be okay. We have to accept, then this is part of presence as well. We have to accept where we are at. Acceptance is the point of alchemy. Until we accept it, we cannot shift it. We cannot change it. Another theme going right along with this energy of presence is the theme of patience. This is also a Taurian theme. Tauruses are not necessarily patient. All right. It is something that we, and I say we because I am a Taurus as well, Taurus sun. It's something that Tauruses strive for. These are the evolutionary impulses of our souls, right? The signs that we incarnate with, not necessarily the qualities we already have going on. All right, so cultivating that patience as well, cultivating that trust, right? Remember Jupiter again as well. Trust and faith in divine timing and allowing that timing to unfurl and not trying to control it by living in the past or the future, but simply being present for it right now. What is happening in my life right now? Can I be present for that? Can I experience that completely? That's the ultimate challenge or invitation of Taurus season right there. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did and you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling these energies as we begin this powerful journey through Taurus season. If you feel drawn to work with me in any type of one-on-one capacity, please reach out to me. I offer one-on-one coaching sessions. I offer powerful energy healing of all different varieties and flavors, as well as personal readings, astrology, tarot, you name it. I would love to work with you. It would be my honor and my privilege if that is something that you are drawn to do. And I will, on that note, talk to you all very soon.